Hey guys, my name is Tim Byres. I'm a chef and a James Beard award-winning cookbook author, and I'm here to cook with some pork rinds and with one of my great friends, Mark Singleton of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. And we're here in Dallas, and we're in our own home kitchens. And our goal here was to try to get in front of you guys, have some fun while everybody's kind of locked up with this coronavirus situation. And continue to cook with some pork rinds, continue to have some fun and tell some stories. And this is just a couple of good friends cooking. So I'd like to introduce Mark and get to having some fun.
Hey Tim, man, normally we'd be putting this around a campfire someplace, but with Corona apocalypse, we're doing it a new way. And we've been wanting to do this forever, and it's just a great way to stay in touch with your friends. It's a great way to stay in touch with our friends. And we're going to show them some cool things to cook this morning. And most importantly, we're going to help some people. So everybody that shares this video, that sees it and shares it, we're going to give $5 to the Blessings in a Backpack folks. And with the national pandemic we've got going right now, these people are helping a tremendous number of kids, food insecure situations right here in our hometown of Dallas. So we're so excited to cook with you this morning. We're so excited for Tim and I to get together this morning and help some folks. So let's get going, Tim.
All right. All right. So when we're cooking with pork rinds, what everybody's really seeing is a lot of stuff. There's great to dip with, great for snacks, great for keto stuff. And so Mark and I were talking about wanting to do something. I think that we initially grabbed was the idea of doing a pork rind keto pizza crust, and we'll present it in a regular pizza fashion. I'm going to show you guys how to use it also as like a cheese flatbread, and then maybe some bruschetta, and you'll also definitely have pizza. But it's super easy, really quick ingredient list, and it's all stuff you can get from the grocery store, and things that are nice and easy to do. So we've got cream cheese. So 8 ounces, which is a box of cream cheese. Mark, you've got over there. I think hit mine or in the middle of exchange stuff. So some whipped eggs.
Hey Tim.
This can be done in a yeah.
When I was doing this morning practicing, I was amazed at how all these ingredients that you'd never think about putting together come together to make a great pizza dough or great bread. I just, how does this work actually?
It's a little strange. Like you start throwing all this stuff in here and you're like, okay, this is like a lot of cheese, a lot of heavy duty stuff. I mean, the idea of the, kind of keto diet is it's really kind of a no carb, high fat sort of thing. And the great thing is about pork rinds is that ground up, it's almost like a flour replacement. So once we get all these cheeses, they're going to bind with these eggs, create sort of a really heavy custard, and it's going to cook to where it sort of melts and just comes together, and in the end we'll have a really cool pizza crust. From the initial start, I as well was like, I don't know about this. We'll figure it out. But
yeah, I was amazed at how it ground up, how beautiful it was. And man, there's the smells coming out of the kitchen this morning were amazing.
I know, it's awesome. It definitely does have that really cool browning, like, I guess it is a pizza smell, that mozzarella.
Yeah,
all right, so I've got my cream cheese and eggs in here. I'm going to go ahead. I've got a couple of tablespoons of oregano. I'll put the seasonings in now so we can mix them up a little bit better. Some dry garlic. Red pepper flake. The recipe has it at 1 teaspoon. I mean, if you want to go spicier. Texas recipes have a tendency to give some kick, but I think this is great. And then a couple cups of mozzarella. We've got our Parmesan cheese. And then the last thing,
you're doing this by hand. I'm using a mixer. you know, this morning when we were talking, it's real important not to over mix this, right?
Yeah, okay. So with the mixer, the cream cheese, if you really beat it, it gets warm. And part of what we've got going on here is it's going to be this sort of wet, cheesy glob of like kind of dough before we put it in. If it gets too cold, I mean, if you get it too hot in the mixer, just take the bowl, put it in the refrigerator, chill it down a little bit, and you'll be back in business. So,
and today we used our sea salt and cracked pepper pork rinds, right?
Yeah.
Why did you choose these?
What's that?
I mean, you could choose any flavor, couldn't you?
Oh, totally. We picked this one because it's the most available. I think that you were telling me you find these more available on the shelf, and it's more of like your like basic flavor of just salt and pepper. I was saying too, it'd be fun if you wanted to do like a Hawaiian pizza. I know that there's that like ancho and pineapple flavor, which would be fun too.
Cool.
So, okay. So pork rinds, we buzz these things through a food processor. So they're gonna look like it's gonna look like panko breadcrumbs. And I found that about a 4-ounce bag, which is your larger bag, it gave me about 2.5 cups. So in my pig bowl with my ground pork rinds. So you'll see that this sort of, it grabs it up a bit like a flour.
You know, I think this would work a lot better if I could find my paddle to my KitchenAid.
Paddle. I wish I could hand it to you. Here, Mark. Pork rinds.
Oh, thanks. Oh, my hands are totally sticky. This stuff really is, at this point, fairly wet, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to make sure to not, like, if it gets too overdone, just you put it in the fridge and it'll just even a freezer for a couple minutes just to refirm that cream cheese up. I've got a little olive oil. You can use some Pam spray. And what I want to do is I'm gonna do this in a flat sheet tray. So we have some options for you. I know Mark's gonna do his in a more traditional pizza round.
Right, Tim, I've got it right here.
Perfect.
And note that this one has holes in it. I think I'll get one without holes in it for this in the future, but it worked right.
Oh, good. We were up early and we were going through possible issues, and one of them was how to deal with a perforated pizza pan. All right, so okay, I just poured that straight into here. Mark's got his on a tray. I mean, here's a good tip for like wanting to like keep your hands from being all nastied up, is you just do this over the top, and we'll press it into our pan all the way to the edges. The wax paper makes it easy to spread around and get sort of even. You take a peek. I got a little bit of a bald spot right here, so I'm going to fish some over. Pretty good.
Yeah, it helps you smooth it out.
Yeah. So back to kind of what we were talking about before. So we've got cream cheese, pork rinds, mozzarella, eggs, Parmesan, and some seasonings in here. Nothing about that traditionally makes you think pizza crust. So Mark's right. I think when it comes out of the oven, you're like, holy smokes, it really does do it. And what's cool about the pork rinds is it not only helps that like no carb deal, but it does give it this really great sort of meaty flavor. I love the oregano and the spicy chili part too.
Like I said, I couldn't believe how it browned up, how it toasted it up. Just beautiful food. So Tim, I mean, in all this being cooped in, cooking has really increased around America. And people are looking at, I mean, every day, my texts are blowing up with pictures of people's foods. They're cooking all the time. You and your family are too, I guess.
Oh, yeah, all the time. So we've got 3 kids, and we're all home. And I think what's interesting is it's pushing everybody up against, like, trying new things. Like, my kids were making homemade cinnamon rolls last week and making bread. And my daughter, who's vegetarian, all of her, like, stuff that she does, like gluten-free and everything. So we're making gluten-free bread. There's a lot that, especially when you're bored at home. And I think the cool thing about food is it really gets everybody together, and you could share. I know you're not supposed to be out hanging out with everybody, but, we've cooked stuff and run it across to our neighbors and, connected that way, which has been pretty cool. I think the coolest thing is in the midst of all this stuff is just seeing how, let's go to the oven. So I'm going to put mine. That looks good.
Yeah. Isn't it surprising? I'm going to take mine outside while you visit with the folks.
All right. I'm going in the oven. And come back 20 minutes. So we got 425 in the oven here. We've got it placed in the center rack, and we should be able to pull this out in about 20 minutes.
I normally would have been nervous about doing this way, but once I've seen the Jimmy Fallon's, it's really wild that America's being entertained by MacBook.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. SNL.
Oh, it's just hilarious. And just so touching how innovative people are, how determined they are to help each other. People are just doing amazing things. Tim, I've also got my green egg sit at 425.
Perfect.
The great thing about these big cookers is you can really regulate the heat. I've got a pizza stone in there, but I'm not going to put this directly on the pizza stone just yet. We will in the second phase.
All right.
So I'm just going to take this in here, put it in, and we're going to cook this for about 20 minutes.
Perfect. Look at you go. I'm usually the barbecue guy. All right. All right. So we're 20 minutes. I know I'm looking done and crispy.
Tim, I'm just amazed at like we were talking earlier at how that whole thing changes. It's not like what I thought it would be at all. It's like a cheese bread.
No, totally. I mean, and that's why I was saying we should do different stuff. So I think you should definitely do a pizza because it's gonna look like that iconic round pizza with pepperoni and that sort of stuff. And then I want to show you guys some other stuff to sort of use this as a dough. So I'm going to cut this thing in half and do some pizza and some sort of bruschetta. I'd let this cool a little bit, but you guys see how like airy and good that is? Smells really kind of porky, but in a really awesome way. So
you kind of pre-brown the bottom when we flip it, right?
Yeah, I think it looks like I've done them two different ways. The pan one seems to come out a little darker than the other pizza, but so I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that are fun. We're going to do this with, let's see.
So we're going to use just a normal Prego pizza sauce, and we're going to spread it on a little thin because we don't want it just super coated. Then we're going to take an Italian style cheese. And once again, these are things that we found right off the internet that we ordered delivered to our house. We're going to sprinkle some cheese around there. I kind of like a cheesy pizza, especially a cheesy pizza with a cheesy crust, pork rind crust. Then we're going to do something that is also just right off the shelf. We found these, the pepperoni minis. Just going to take those and just sprinkle them around the top. Boom, 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 boom. Don't cook the little oxygenator. And then we've also got our favorite topping for pepperoni pizza, some green onions that we're just going to scatter off in here. And I think we're ready. Tim, what are you going to show us?
All right. So I got a bunch of fancier stuff just because we decided to go high-low. And that since Mark's a pork rind man, he's going to focus on cooking pork rinds. And I'm the chef guy, so I'm going to bring you guys some extra fun stuff. Again, this some of the stuff I had, some of the stuff we got at the store, some of the stuff, it looks a little fancy, but, you know, it's just a little bit more digging. I think you can get this stuff delivered to the house. I got this from our local grocery store. I've got some pesto that I bought out of a container. I've got some bacon, some artichokes that I had grilled, but these are just marinated artichokes you can buy. More cheese, fun little sprouts, romaine lettuce, fancy heirloom tomatoes. If you guys have like a Whole Foods or a bigger grocery store like that around, you can get those. Jar of tomato sauce, some pears. I've been eating these things crazy through all of the lock-in. And then some prosciutto. So I'm going to do a couple of things, and I'm going to do similar to Mark. I've got my pizza side. I've got some tomato sauce on it. I've got a couple of pieces. I'm going to treat these like some of this like bread. Let's pick the nicest two pieces. So here's a good option that if you wanted to do a keto-centric sort of flatbread kind of idea. And again, if you're eating in that kind of way, bread's not an option due to the carb issue. So here, let's get our romaine, a couple of tomatoes, got some bacon. I don't know if we want to put a couple more sprouts just for fun. Some bread. I got our fancy picks. So this is a really cool BLT version of our pizza dough, which is a sandwich now. And then we got these guys. So I'm going to take pesto. I'm going to smear that on this one. I'm going to take maybe some ham, some prosciutto.
Which is fancy ham.
Yeah, totally. Italian dry cured ham. We got our pears.
Yeah, Tim and I have fixated on different kinds of pigs. We cooked whole pigs, pieces of pigs,
Wild pigs.
hams, wild pigs.
Half Texan, half Spanish pigs. It could be endless.
You know, when you're in the pork rind business, you really do get an opportunity to be around a lot of other food guys. And gosh, I've had some amazing Spanish ham, and that's kind of the basis of that prosciutto. It's an Italian ham, but man, the European hams are amazing.
Yeah, it's you know what I think is really great about that stuff. There's just such a long tradition. I'm going to put artichokes on this pizza.
Oh.
And I'm going to take him. I'm going to just chuck him in the oven. And our little BLT. Yeah, I mean, food is really important, and I think it's like, you know, it's been really fun doing these recipes with Southern Recipe Small Batch. Not only is it like a real fun kind of old school product that's been taken care of. I mean, you know, these flavorings and things have been really cool to work on over the years. I mean, even when the great story of how Mark and I met, I had a little restaurant around the corner from one of his plants, and he's in there talking about pork rinds, and I'm talking about, you know, how difficult it is to do on a restaurant basis. And he's like, you know, hey, I got these pellets that we smoke and we do. Then you got to fry it. He shows me how to fry it. And we started frying pork rinds at the restaurant, and that was the first time that happened. So it's been fun. We got more to come.
The first time we had actually sold pork rinds in a 5-star restaurant, which was kind of cool for us too. You know, we're both so passionate about food. We're both so, you know, I'm looking at that BLT, and I think that the only thing that could make that better, Tim, would be a bag of pork rinds. So why don't we plate that up with a bag of kimchi barbecue pork rinds here?
Yeah, all right. Mine aren't kimchi. I'm supposed to grab the red bag.
You know, when we were first asked when we first thinking about doing small batch, you know, you and I had talked about what kind of crazy flavors can we put on pork rinds, and it's really been amazing to see how the whole universe of what we make has gone from plain hot and barbecue to kimchi barbecue, pineapple ancho, sea salt and cracked pepper, Thai curry. It's amazing.
I think what's cool too is that different people are into it now. I mean, pork rinds and cracklings used to be super rural and, like, you know, something everybody, you know, you either grew up on it or you didn't, and you see it everywhere now.
It's really been a pork rind renaissance. Tim, I'm going to go stick mine on the smoker.
All right.
I'm pulling.
So I am.
All right, I'm going to pull this off. Please note the safety gloves. This is 400 degrees. Wow, Tim, that's incredible. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you demystifying one of the most popular recipes on our website, pork rind pizza. It tastes great.
Yeah, right, doesn't it? I mean, it kind of blew my mind too. And I think that it's one of the reasons I wanted to look at some of these real popular recipes and just show people what you can do with them. And you know, that's what it's been all about. It's about having fun, real food, real people, sharing it. And I'm super happy to be here with you.
You know, and the thing is, it's not just pizza. You made a sandwich.
Yeah, totally. Bruschetta. There's all sorts of stuff happening. I think it's kind of endless. You can sub this as bread, flatbread, whatever you guys want to do.
And the greatest thing about it, by sharing this recipe and sharing with us how to cook it, our friends and family out there on Facebook, out there on YouTube can share this, and we'll give $5 to the Blessings in a Backpack folks right here in Dallas, Texas, and feed some kids that are really in a food insecure position right now in this pandemic. So thanks so much, Tim, for helping us feed people and feed people.
Yeah, anytime. And you guys out there, keep sharing this so we can raise a bunch of money. And we got more recipes and videos coming at you in the near future. So we'll see what we can come up with, and I'll see y'all in the kitchen next time.